Hello learners, welcome to our chemistry lesson. Our today's focus is test for chlorides. How can you test for the presence of chloride or the absence of chlorides? Say for example, you have been provided with the following samples. We have sample A and sample B, and then you are required to do a confirmatory test to enable you identify if indeed sample A contains chlorides and again if B also contains chlorides. How can you do the confirmatory test? We can employ the following experimental procedures. The first experimental procedure that you can employ to confirm or to test for chloride is by using silver nitrate and nitric acid, and procedure number 2 that you can employ as an alternative procedure is using lead 2 nitrate. So we have silver nitrate in solid form, and again we have silver nitrate in solution form as our test reagent, and again we have dilute nitric acid. So these are the test reagents required for procedure number 1 if it is to be employed. Then procedure number 2, we have lead 2 nitrate in solution form, and also we have lead 2 nitrate in solid form. These are the common reagents required for procedure number 2. What are other requirements that are needed to facilitate these procedures? So we have source of heat. I will explain its role. We also have test tube holders. Test tube holder, we have one here. We also have spatula. We also have test tubes and test tube rack. Then finally, we have distilled water in the wash bottle. How can we do the experiment to confirm the presence of chlorides? The first thing you do, students, as I'm beginning with the first procedure, is to take a sample from the substance given, and then you put it in a test tube. You add distilled water to form a solution. After having done that, you add dilute nitric acid, whose major role is to eliminate an impurity. So you add dilute nitric acid to eliminate an impurity. After having done that, you now begin the test by adding silver nitrate. And then you must be very careful to make the correct observations. So as we add silver nitrate, be very keen. You can see a white precipitate formed. You can see a white precipitate formed. So you will record your observation in the table. As you can see, we have a white precipitate formed. So you write white precipitate is formed. When white precipitate has been formed, it means that the sample contains chloride. That is, say for example, if the sample was sodium chloride, and then it reacts with silver nitrate which has been added, then silver reacts with chloride to form silver chloride, which is a white precipitate, and sodium reacts with nitrate to form sodium nitrate, which is aqueous. Now the formation of silver chloride confirms that the sample contains chloride. if we take sample B so that we are able to confirm if indeed it contains, if indeed it contains chloride, what will we do? We add silver nitrate. We add silver nitrate. And you can see there is no formation of a white precipitate. You can compare the two. You can see we have a white precipitate formed here, and for this there is no formation of a white precipitate. There is no formation of what? Of a white precipitate. So we write for sample B, there is no white precipitate. So we have chloride ions absent. What about procedure number 2? Procedure number 2, we are using lead chloride. You again are using lead nitrate. You again take a sample and then you form a solution. After forming a solution, then you add lead nitrate. And you can see there is a formation of a white precipitate. So the first procedure is there is formation of a white precipitate. What would happen if we warm? What would happen if we warm it? What would happen if we warm it? Students, be very keen. What would actually happen when we warm this? Remember, we have added lead to nitrate, and now we are warming to enable us see what would happen upon warming. You must be very careful and patient. So you can see the white precipitate is dissolving upon warming. White precipitate is dissolving upon warming. You can see the white precipitate as dissolved. You can see the white precipitate is dissolving, and finally you can see the white precipitate as dissolved. I believe you can remember how thick it was. The white precipitate which was formed is dissolving on warming. So it means when we are using lead 2 nitrate and confirming the presence of chloride, if chloride ions are present, there will be formation of a white precipitate that dissolves upon warming. You can see it has dissolved. There is formation of a white precipitate. If you can compare the way it was before and now, you can see the white precipitate as dissolved. White precipitate as dissolved. Now, So we have white precipitate is formed solely stroke that dissolve on warming. This confirms the presence of chloride. If white precipitate is formed insoluble on warming, then it means the ions, that is chloride ions, absent. How can we explain this? By using chemical equation. Say sodium chloride reacting with lead nitrate. Students, we are having sodium reacting with nitrate to form sodium nitrate. Then lead reacting with this to form lead chloride. Lead chloride is the white precipitate, white liquid, that when warmed dissolves to form a solution. When it is warming, the solid dissolves to form aqueous or solution. So that is how we can test for the presence or absence of lead or chloride in a sample. To emphasize, the first test we use silver nitrate and nitric acid. Nitric acid is used to remove the impurities, and silver nitrate is reacting with any available chloride to form silver chloride, and that is the white precipitate. So in any case, you see the formation of a white precipitate, then you say that chloride ions are present. When you get a negative result, that is no white precipitate, you now say chloride ions are absent. When using lead 2 nitrate, you add lead 2 nitrate and then you follow by warming. If a white precipitate is formed that dissolves on warming, then this confirms that chloride ions are present. But if white precipitate is formed insoluble on warming, it means chloride ions are absent. May God bless you, students. I hope that you have understood everything. If there exists a question, you are free to ask. May God bless you.